Okay, so we're going to try this again. Sorry about that, guys. I just closed down the wrong window. So I'm going to give some of you guys some time to come on. This time I will not close this. And just going to get myself together here so I can actually see this on my computer. It's always the most fun time of the live, isn't it? So let's see. I'm really inspired by this. I know that some of you guys have heard this. There's a Cherokee legend that I wanted to talk about that is just a perfect example of whether you're feeding the old story or the new, the old man, the old version of you, the new version of you, whatever you want to call it. It's not just law of assumption. I mean, this teaching of basically this has been used since the beginning of time, just with different language and different framework in trying to describe this way of being. But really, at the end of the day, it's just becoming Zen about everything and trusting. That's what it all comes down to. So I just found myself here. It's going to see if we have some people on. Right. So let's see. Let's see who comes on. I'm just going to start now. I probably faked some of you guys out with when I first came on. Sorry about that. All right, give you guys a few more minutes here. So a couple of the things that I wanted to address, that a few questions that came through, and I'm not going to be very specific about things in order to protect confidentiality. But, I have a number of clients and they're all in different places. Hey, Catherine, they're all in different places where they are with their either money situation or a specific person situation. The majority of my clients tend to be focused more on looking to improve the love within themselves, their connection with God. And through that, and this is my belief system, when you become in union with yourself and in union with God, then you will become in union with your other half as well. And I know a lot of other law of assumption coaches and channels do not teach in this way, but frankly speaking, I've manifested in all different ways in my life. This is what resonates the deepest with me, and this is what feels most meaningful and purposeful to me. So for a lot of people who are used to listening to other YouTube coaches who teach this from, which is totally fine, from a more shallow and superficial kind of like robotic kind of way of manifesting, totally fine. And you can totally completely manifest that way. I'm just a deeper feeling person, and this is what resonates with me, and this is how I manifest in my life, and this works for me. So sometimes some people comment on certain videos, which is totally fine because they're just reflecting me. I never take it personally, even if initially I may, but I always catch myself very quickly, and I realize that people who are commenting are just reflecting back to me. So if somebody doesn't agree with some of my content, for example, I've had a couple people a couple weeks ago or so, maybe a week and a half ago, that felt that the SP content was overkill, and this person has been a subscriber with me since the beginning, since I can remember, and I care about them even though I don't know them. And initially it really kind of got to me, and I did a lot of inner work around it because I felt like it was stifling me. And if it's stifling me, then that means it's stifling God. And if it's stifling God, then I have to step in and be very strong and persistent about this myself, and to say very clearly to everyone, if you don't like the SP content that I put out, then please don't watch, and please go ahead and unsubscribe to my channel. I don't want somebody to watch my videos and for it not to somehow help them. And if it's not helping them, I don't take it personally, but then just don't watch. But if people complain about things that are literally coming through me from what I believe is, something much greater than me, then that's when I start to say, okay, you can't, if you are in your own way and you don't understand things and you think that you do, and you want to come at me in that way, that's fine, go ahead. But from now on, I'm literally just going to delete, block, and that's it. Because this whole thing, put me in a dysregulated state, because I felt like, okay, I want and need to share these things with people who I believe their other half is out there, and that they just need to do some healing within, and that, heals the relationship. And if somebody wants to group me into like this whole law of assumption SP overkill thing, then that's your problem. It's not going to be mine. And I say that with love, by the way, but I just can't, when I start to feel like I'm being stifled, or like somebody is, then that's when I start to have a problem. And that's when I have to really defiantly just persist and push through that and say, with all love and light, if you're on my channel and if you're disagreeing with the things that I'm teaching, which are based off of experience, then, I'm just not going to mess with you, and I'm just going to delete and block, most likely, because I can't, like, I have to be able to help people in the way that I was put on this earth to help people. And right now, this is my mission. So with that said, and if you're watching right now, if anybody's watching right now, and, don't take that personally. It's just that I've seen other YouTubers get into arguments and fights with people, and like their egos get involved. Right now, this isn't my ego. This is like coming from a very pure place. I'm not going to allow my own fear, worry, or doubt that's going to be reflected by, a subscriber or somebody making a comment on my video. I'm not going to let, because I know that is my own fear being reflected back to me. I'm going to persist through that the way I'm teaching you guys to persist through it, which means that I'm not going to not share the content that I am put on this earth to be sharing with you guys. So, much love from Greece. Hey, Hocus Pocus Focus. Thank you. Much love to you too. All right. So into some of these things without going into details. One of my clients who's doing an amazing job, he has been manifesting for a while now, and he's seeing amazing results. And along with, a lot of people, it's normal and natural that when things start to come up in the 3D, it's very easy. And it happens to me too. It happens all the time. It's very easy to get sucked back into the 3D and start to it's like you almost depend on the things that you're seeing in the 3D to figure out where you're at with things. And be careful, because that can be a trap. The reason why I say this is because you really you can affirm through the middle and be affirming kind of from where things are if you want, but then you're constantly going to be finding yourself revising every little thing that happens. And while you can manifest in this way, what also can happen is you can get caught up so much in the micromanaging that can be very draining. It can be full of anxiety. It can be full of stress, pressure, and really it's almost like you can be almost going through a cycle of torturing yourself. If you could, it would be much more empowering for you to just like stay in your imagination with everything, act very authentically and naturally with everything, stop questioning things so much, and always just know that the only reason that things have happened the way they have happened was because of something that was within you that most likely just needs to be healed. And for most people that I'm seeing, and this includes myself, there's definitely a fear of abandonment there. And so you don't look to solve or validate the issue of abandonment through your person. You validate yourself through self-love, and you heal yourself through affirming things like, and I came to this through, someone else mentoring me, that, love is a safe and healthy. Love is safe and it's healthy. Relationships are safe and healthy. And that I am not only capable of having a healthy and stable, happy, loving relationship, but the only reason that everything within me is just all locked into this one person is because that is my person. That is my other half. and that the only thing that is keeping me between my other half is me. It's not them. But you don't do that in a self-blaming way. You do that in a, okay, Rumi has a poem about this, not to seek love, but seek out the barriers that prevent you from having the love. And that's not word for word verbatim, but it's something like that. Like, you want to see, and you don't want to go on, you don't have to go on a lifelong healing journey, by the way, because then it can perpetuate itself. This can be something that you can address immediately and you can shift immediately. And when I use words like shifting and immediate, it doesn't mean that everything in your reality is going to suddenly change. Yes, it's true. When the day comes that things are unfolding, it can happen very fast. But part of the problem with some of these YouTubers that are out there, and you can see it in the titles of the videos, manifest your SP overnight, say this affirmation, get them to respond overnight, get them to text you in an hour, things like this. These things are literally just geared to get you to click on it. And the problem with a lot of these things, while sometimes it could help, it could work for some people depending on where they are, when you fall for that clickbait and you watch the videos, and sometimes the videos can have some pretty decent information, but more times than not, it's literally just preying on your need. And these things that are preying on your need actually become this perpetual cycle of making you desperate. It almost becomes addictive. And what happens is you watch these videos and you fall for this stuff and you try these things and you stop trusting yourself. And you also start feeling demoralized because you're saying, well, everybody else is getting their manifestation fast. This person's saying I can do this fast. This person's saying it's a magic wand and I can get it fast. But you know what? Sometimes you have to persist through some stuff. Sometimes you have to persist through some things and it might take some time. But when you continue to become demoralized because you're watching these things that are telling you, I can do this fast, but then it's not happening for me quickly, which means I must not be good at this. Now you're reflecting, I must not be good at this. When you say this video said I can do this in an hour, and so I do this and I do this for a couple of days, I do this for a couple of days, and it's just still not happening. Now you think, all you're thinking is it's not happening. It's not happening. So do you see what happens? It's like these things are almost a gateway into you becoming demoralized. It really isn't that you're not able to manifest. It's that you're not trusting in the process and you're falling for things that are literally just intended to make you click on it. So these particular YouTubers can get more views and get more subscribers. There's nothing wrong with having a YouTube channel and teaching how to manifest. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with somebody wanting more and more subscribers and wanting more and more views. But there is something wrong when you know that a lot of people, everybody knows that a lot of people are hung up on this in the same kind of little like trusting and wavering and not seeing. So to prey on that is, to me, irresponsible. So that's all I have to say about that. So anyway, back to with my client. Let me see who else is coming on. Lisa, good morning. Navit, hey Kim, you're so inspiring. Thank you. I feel so good within. I self-soothe myself all the time. I feel so good within and self-soothe myself all the time. Is it how I shift? It feels like, yes, that is. It's very powerful to have those inner shifts within you and to trust. So anyway, back to my client. So one of the things that we talk about is how important it is not to basically continue to, don't dwell in your 3D. Don't conform to your 3D. Don't constantly look at your 3D. So I'm a believer in, unless you are strong enough not to fall for the 3D, stop social media completely, because social media, social media, even for me, could literally throw me off so easily. You have to, every time that you have the urge to go on somebody's social media, you want to stop yourself and just go within and stay in your imagination. And just, if you can just go to the end, it's even better. But if you can't go to the end in that moment, just do some affirming of, how things are shifting, how you're seeing more and more Everything every day is just, you're seeing more and more evidence every single day of everything working in your favor, that there's harmony, mutual respect, mutual appreciation. Whatever your particular situation is, you just want to kind of stop yourself from those behaviors, because those behaviors can just keep you in a vicious cycle. And I highly recommend doing everything that you can to stop yourself doing it. I mean, I want to say just 100% stop. But anyway, let's see who else is coming on. So Reg and Jenna, it says, good morning. Good morning. I'm curious why the anxiety comes up the most in the morning. It could be that I would try making sure that you go to sleep thinking, remember that your subconscious, you want to be in alpha and then theta state for your subconscious to really be able to absorb kind of the new version of you, for you to shift. So when you're, you want to do this throughout the day, but at bedtime, it's really important for you to go to sleep, kind of feeling in the state of being in the wish fulfilled, whether it's around money, relationships, health, specific person, whether it's a romantic specific person or not. You want to go to sleep feeling really good. And then you want to wake up. Most likely you're going to wake up feeling really good, most likely. And if you're not, then you just kind of, you can do some breathing, do some gentle breathing, kind of relax your nervous system a little bit. And then, always tap into, how can you feel bad if you're tapping into your creator, God, thanking God for all the love, getting in agreement with God, getting in alignment with God, trusting God, saying, thank you for everything. I appreciate you. I know that you love me. I love you. I totally, completely belong to you. Hand yourself over. And then, just give thanks for, thank you for, creating me. And I love my creation. And then go into some self-love, the same way that you would be loving up all over your specific person, right? If your specific person was feeling sad, you'd be loving all over them. You would be holding them. You would be telling them how much you cherish them. You'd be telling them how much you adore them, telling them how much of an amazing human being they are, how much you absolutely, can't imagine your life without them, how they make your life better, how their smile brightens your day, how, most likely, I mean, for my person, I love her. I just love her kindness. I love her compassion. I love her intelligence. I love her way of being. I love her gentle nature. I love how powerful and strong she is. I love how intelligent she is and how funny she is. I love her personality. So those are all the things I love about her. What are all the things I love about me? I love also all of those things about me too. So if in the morning you wake up, and if you are waking up on the wrong side of the bed, tap into God, tap into yourself, remind yourself, oh, everything is just reflecting me. It's just kind of the way it is. So what is it that I want? First, start into, I want to love myself. I want to adore myself. I want to cherish myself, because this is my life, and I have to be the priority, right? You have to, in order for you to create what you want, you want to be creating and affirming from being in that place of pure love, that pure unconditional love. So you have to love yourself first, purely and unconditionally, exactly how you are, with all of your insecurities and imperfections, and knowing that your person and any people in your reality love you regardless of your insecurities and imperfections, that you are literally perfect exactly how you are. You see, the problem that probably caused the separation, if we are talking about a specific person, or if we're talking about even separation with family or any other person, because separation is an illusion. But the reason why we experience those things is because we had a fear of being rejected or abandoned, which is separation. Rejected or abandoned because we weren't good enough, or we weren't lovable enough, or we weren't worthy enough, or we weren't important, or we didn't matter, or we have to prove ourselves to get the love that we want. All of those things are the lies and the illusions. And those are literally the things that you look at and that you say, that's untrue, because I am lovable simply because I exist. And because God does never, ever, ever makes any mistakes, and that I am perfect exactly how I am, with all of my imperfections and with my insecurities. And I affirm and I know that every single person in my life loves me exactly how I am. And I do not have to be perfect. Again, because I'm already perfect in my imperfections, and I'm lovable in my imperfections, and I am adorable in my imperfections. And everybody wants to scoop me up and love me and adore me because I am that lovable. And everybody supports me in my reality. And I have blissful interactions with everyone in my reality. Okay. So that kind of thing. So the other, another couple things I wanted to talk about, and then I want to bring up this Cherokee legend really quick before I go on to a couple other questions that were given to me. I just want to see who else has come on. So, Catherine, I actually deleted my Twitter app because I couldn't stop looking. Good. That is good. Good for you. You should do that. I'm proud of you. And then you sent the crying emoji. Don't cry. We lived together, so I would walk around so angry and passive aggressive with him because of the things I was seeing. But once I deleted it, I actually felt calm. I immediately didn't feel so angry. See? Perfect. Everybody be like Catherine. Everybody meet Catherine. Catherine, meet everybody. Just delete the accounts if you can't control yourself. Think of it like, again, mental diet, right? Mental diet, you don't indulge in things no matter how tempting they are. So if you think about the mental diet as being like a food diet, think of social media as being toxic, not just bad for you, toxic. Like this stuff is going to literally just take all of the inner work that you did and you were feeling so good about everything. As soon as you go on social media, it's just going to totally deflate you. So don't fall for it. Just like delete it if you have to. And right now, by the way, it could be an addiction. So all you need to do is just really be very disciplined, focus, and cut it out. So when I go to Jenna, when I go to sleep in my visualization, it makes me not sleep well. Okay, so that I don't understand why, because I sleep like a baby. Before I go to sleep, I feel like I'm in heaven. I feel like I'm in heaven with everything that I am manifesting in my life, everything from my own health, with everything around money, with everything around my person, with everything around my mom and anyone else in my life that I'm affirming for. I have done the inner work. I see everybody in their purest and highest love. I see myself in my purest and highest love. I see just abundance all the way around, and I feel amazing. Okay, so I would have to know exactly what you're doing before you go to sleep. Catherine, okay, Catherine's back towards him, and when the thought, okay, sorry, but it sounds like you're doing good, Catherine. Yep. Okay, Mr. LA Tourist. Hi, Kim. This is Tom. Hey, Tom. Regina said, thank you. You're welcome. LA Tourist. Hi, Kim. This is Tom, a major fan. Thank you. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. And then the real Osita, I did the same. I deleted IG and Facebook. That's wonderful. That's what I want to hear. Okay. And so another thing that came up, another question that I got was, so somebody who is in a relationship with their SP, and there's a common work that they're both doing work on. And while there is communication, and it is very good communication, sometimes the communication is a little less frequent as the person wants. And so one of their questions was, A, should I I feel like I don't want to be a doormat. I feel like I should speak up. And B, if we're working on this project together and I need, basically this is what I got from it, I need kind of a response in order for me to do what I need to do. What should I do? Like, what should I do in the 3D? And how I would manage something like this would be this. First, obviously, I would go in my inner imagination and see that the person is totally, completely respecting and appreciating my time, values me completely, loves working together with me, loves our communication, is just always so thoughtful in all their communication, and always shows me how thoughtful they are of my time, and just really loves and cares about me so much, values me so much, that I always know that if I'm not hearing back from them, that they're just like really busy, but they're about to get back to me like right away. Like I would just kind of stay in that energy. But in the 3D, how I would probably communicate, and don't get me wrong, in situations like this, I've been sucked into the 3D and I've in the 3D said things that I really shouldn't have said. And then I have, suffered the consequences of that and then had to I wish I didn't do that. I caused a little bit of this for myself, but then you go ahead and you do the inner work. But so in the 3D, you always want to be authentic and natural, but you also want to be just understanding, having this new awareness, right? That get yourself in a good place of unconditional, pure love before you affirm and before you communicate in the 3D. Okay. Because when you come at things from that perspective and with that kind of, from that state, when you're in that state of love, then you're going to communicate very differently. Your words are going to come out differently and you're going to communicate very differently because you're going to be that version of yourself. And that version of yourself, and you trust, always says and does the right things, right? So yes, the answer is stay in your inner imagination, do some affirming and do some breath work before making any phone calls or texting in those situations, always knowing and always hearing and imagining that how it's received perfectly and that you guys have harmonious communication. Then when you actually act in the 3D, trust and know I'm going to say all the right things. I'm going to say all the right things. I'm going to do all the right things. I always am guided divinely. Then you detach from the outcome. In other words, if in the 3D you get something that you didn't want, you just detach from that. And this goes for my first client that I was talking about too. So how you act in the 3D is you act always naturally and authentically, but you don't worry if in the 3D, the response, the reaction is something in opposition of what you wanted. You just stay in your imagination and stay in the pure love and just let whatever the old version of stuff, let it all bubble up and just see it that, okay, this is my old stuff. This is not my person. This is not the real version of my real person. This is my old stuff, just getting mirrored back to me one more time so I can just decide, is this the version that I want? Is this the experience that I want to keep having? Yes or no? And it's that simple. And then you just stay in your imagination. You stay in your imagination. And I know it can be challenging. It can definitely be challenging. Everything has its pros and cons with everything in life, right? When we're in contact after separation, when we're back in contact, sometimes the 3D can be very smooth. And sometimes, and I feel like the 3D will be much smoother through the middle. And when separation is over and everything is unfolding, when you guys are coming back together and you're coming back in union, sometimes it can be rocky. Sometimes it can be very, very smooth. No matter what, it is going to unfold if you stay persisting and you stay trusting. That is one of the things that gets lost somehow in translation, because almost everybody's hang up tends to be in trust. Because if you trusted, you wouldn't feel the need to micromanage the 3D. If you trusted, you wouldn't be trying to control the 3D. If you trusted, you wouldn't constantly be looking at the 3D as your validation, right? You wouldn't be looking outside of yourself constantly. You would know, okay, there's a reason why I'm feeling this. There's a reason why this is all happening. I trust in this greater purpose because I know that this actually isn't even about me. Yeah, it's my human experience going through this, but God is much greater. God is guiding me to this. God is providing for me through this. God is handling everything for me. And I need to trust that regardless of what's happening in the 3D. And sometimes you guys are beating yourself up, and I'm going to go right into another issue that somebody's having. When you say that I've been doing this work, I've been doing everything that I've been learning, I've been doing this, I've been doing that, but then your behavior in the 3D is like, I get some movement, right? I get some movement, and then I go in and I'm trying to control and manipulate. I am putting my foot down. I'm making demands on my person. I'm putting my foot down. I'm angry. I'm frustrated. I feel like, why is this happening? Why is that happening? all of that behavior is coming from the state of lack. It is not coming from the wish fulfilled. It's not coming from a state of having at all. And then you get upset and you beat yourself up and you think that God is not with you and you think that it's not working for me. I don't know what else to do. But you were trying to control everything at every turn. You were doing a lot of stuff in your outer world. In other words, you weren't doing the inner work, you were doing the outer work. You weren't coming from a place of powerful, pure love. You were coming from a place of disempowered fear and doubt because you felt the need to micromanage and control everything in your 3D. So then when everything kind of blows up, which I get it, I've been there before where everything in my 3D totally blows up on me and it feels horrible and it feels like everything is crumbling. But even through that, if you can just see the truth and be honest and say, yeah, that's true. I wasn't actually trusting myself, because if I was, I would have been knowing that, you know, in the case of specific person, romantic, this person is my other half. They're just reflecting my deepest fears back to me. Let me separate. I got to look at the time. Let me separate my fears and my issues of abandonment and rejection. Let me wipe this filter clean, because I'm seeing my honey. I'm seeing my baby through this filter of pain. I'm seeing my baby through this filter of everything that my exes did to me. I'm seeing my baby through the filter of everything that, you know, in some cases my parents did to me. I'm seeing my baby through this filter of everything society has told me what happens when you're in love and in relationships. I'm seeing my baby through this ugly, dirty filter. And frankly speaking, like I put all of this stuff on my honey, and he deserves more than that. I deserve more than that. So let me clean my filter. Let me clean it because it's dirty. Let me clean the filter. Let me wash away all of those fears, worries, and doubts by doing the inner work that I already talked about, that I talk about in all my videos. And then let me trust in God, because if I don't trust in God, and if I continue to just go down this path of let me just do the barest minimum with manifesting, and let me just let me see if I can trick the universe and God, and let me just I'm going to say that I'm manifesting, but I'm going to say a few affirmations in the morning, and then I'm going to get on my phone and I'm going to see, did my affirmations work yet? Let me go on their Facebook page. Let me go on the Instagram. No, they just posted a picture. Looks like they're single. Looks like they want to date other people. You know, like when you do those kinds of things, you're not really trusting. You're not doing the inner work, because the biggest part of the inner work, let's say it's 50%. 50% of the inner work is trusting and surrendering. Honestly, guys, I don't know what it is, but I've been, and not for bad reason. I got a new mattress. I love it. It's super comfy. I don't know why though. I've been getting only an average of, I've been like falling asleep around midnight, and not because it's just like, there's so much I want to do in a day. And it's like, sometimes I'm sad that the day is going to end, because, you know, there's so much I try to do. And then, in the morning, lately, for some reason, the last few days, I've been waking up at like 4 something or 5 something. I'm like, okay, I'm up. I may as well just get up. So I'm tired. So hopefully I'm finishing all my points. And I'll get back to some, hey, Brandon, it's nice to see you too. I'll get back to some of your questions and comments in a second. I do want to bring up, and then I'm going to get to some questions. I want to bring up an old Cherokee, an old Native American Cherokee legend of the 2 wolves, because this says it perfectly, okay? And I know some of you guys have heard this before. So there's a Cherokee legend about an elderly brave who tells his grandson about life. Son, he says, within all of us, there is a battle of 2 wolves. One is evil. He is anger, envy, jealousy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. Okay, take a deep breath. He continued, that was a joke. He continued, the other wolf is good. He is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The same fight is going on inside of you and inside of every person too, explained the wise Cherokee elder. The grandson thought about it for a minute and then asked his grandfather, which wolf will win? The grandfather simply replied, the one you feed. So really, really take that in for a second, because that is the epitome. That is the epitome. That is the essence. That's the very essence of the law of assumption. Which wolf are you feeding every day? Which wolf? Are you feeding the wolf of pure love, compassion, kindness, love, compassion, empathy, generosity, forgiveness? Or are you feeding the wolf, and I don't remember all of this stuff, but are you feeling the wolf of fear, worry, doubt, anxiety, pain, separation? You decide early in the morning, which wolf do you want to feed? And then throughout the day, when you get caught up in 3D, because it is easy and natural and normal to waver. Wavering is part of it. But when you dwell in that state of what you don't want, you need to catch yourself and say, whoa, 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 ask yourself a few questions. You can ask yourself, which wolf am I feeding right now? Which version of me am I being right now? Which version of my person am I believing in right now? Which version of my bank account am I believing in right now? What version of life am I believing in right now? What do I want? Right? What is it that I want? And then go into shifting in your imagination what it is that you want, right? That's simple. If you're spiraled and you're triggered, maybe it's not so easy, and you might actually hit a wall where you feel completely stuck. And sometimes these kinds of spirals can be very, they can make you feel very depressed and very down and almost frozen. What I would do in those situations, no matter what, I would never try to always go into your trust of, you never want to stop or give up on yourself as being a manifester. In those moments, you want to step back and literally talk yourself through this. Like, it's okay if I'm feeling this way. I'm still manifesting everything that I want. I still know that you're in control. You're saying this to God. I still know that you're in control. I know that you can see everything that I can't. I know that I'm doing everything I can, and I know you're doing everything that I can't. I trust you, and I know that somehow, some way, anything and everything that I want, that you have planted the seeds within me, everything that you have planted, these seeds are meant for me. And I trust you that you wouldn't plant these seeds unless you wanted these seeds. I'm watching Felix because hopefully he doesn't. Okay. You wouldn't plant these seeds in me unless you wanted me to have these things flourish in reality and kind of incarnate through me for you. You wouldn't plant these seeds within me. That just wouldn't be a thing. You wouldn't desire it. Think about this, guys. Every single human being who, think about people who have manifested millions and millions of dollars. Think about people who have manifested, I have no need for fame or things like that, but I like to talk about celebrities and musicians, or I think about it often, that they really do understand manifesting. Even pro athletes, and I'm not one into any kind of competitive stuff or sports at all. Like, it's just not my thing. I kind of don't like it because I don't like what it does with people's egos. But I do think about the mindset that celebrities, musicians, really anybody who's done anything kind of major, whether you agree with it or not, in their life, that have manifested, like even inventors, people who have invented major technology. These people, do you think that when they wake up with doubts or fears, or if something happens in their 3D reality that goes against what they want, do you think that they just like go in a corner and cry and worry and feel worthless and totally demoralized? Heck no. They get up and they just keep trusting, because they have laser focus on whatever it is that they want. And no matter how it is that they manifested, whatever it is that they manifested, who cares? The point is that there's a persistence that they all have in common. And trust me, they visualize and they imagine. And when they get a no, they hear a yes. And when they get another no, they hear a yes. That's how I built my retail business up. And I don't say things to brag at all. And I went through a lot of ups and downs, a lot of good things, a lot of bad things, because it was all just me being reflected back to me. It was all my own fears and stuff. But I always persisted in the end. And I always trusted in the end. And I always handed it over literally morning, noon, and night. I surrendered morning, noon, and night. And I just kept my vision clear. And that's how I always manifest no matter what. Okay. So I have a little while, then I have to eat and get on with the client. So I'm going to go back and look at some of these questions. I'm sorry, guys, I can't take everybody. And I'm going to go back though, so bear with me here. I hope you guys are liking the live so far and this is working for you. I hope that you're getting some answers on me with very little sleep. Okay. Sorry, guys. There's a lot of comments and questions here. Lady R. Hi, Kim, with a heart from Cape Town, South Africa. Hey, how are you? Mansard. Hey, Mansard. I hope you're well. Zane, you're welcome. You're welcome. So let's see if I have any questions that I have to get to here. Lottery result. Oh boy, I have a lot. I'm sorry, guys. I saw a lot of questions got by me here. This is going to be really hard for me to get to everybody. Dharmesh, she came after a year and we are again in no contact. I took it as a bridge of events. Yes, that is a bridge of events, which is still bridging, or is it birds before land? It's all the same. It's all the same. You're just in the middle. That's all it is. You keep persisting until you are literally, here's what happens. You keep persisting and keep persisting and keep persisting. As things start to show up in the 3D reality, what starts to happen is people start to, it's like they start to adhere. It's like they move from their inner and they start to adhere to their outer. And when they start to adhere to their outer, then they start to fall for things. And if things haven't fully manifested, it's like they got thrown off of their regimen and their, inner work. And then they start to fall for the illusions. Maybe sometimes the fears, worries, the doubts start to creep up again. So then they start to see this mix of hot and cold. It's just, you just have to keep affirming and you keep evolving. And as you keep persisting, things will start shifting, morphing, and changing in your 3D reality. And if you're not seeing movement yet, you just keep persisting and don't pay attention to no movement. You just don't pay attention to it. And you just stay persistent in your inner imagination and your trust. And then let's say that you're back with your person. You've gotten through some of the hot and cold behavior or whatever, if there even was any of that. And now you guys are back together. Your affirmations can start to shift back now into what do you want next? What do you want next? What do you want next? The whole point of the affirmations is to really just always trust in your heart. Always go into this place of pure love, serenity, stability, groundedness, being conscious and aware, and not getting sucked up in the illusion of fears, worries, and doubts, right? That's why it's important for this to become a lifestyle. This isn't like a part-time thing. Sometimes I think people are looking at like, oh, I want this quick fix. And you think you can fool the universe or God, but you can't. Remember, you're always going to be right in every single thing that you assume. You're always going to be right. Okay. Your life is always going to reflect back to you whatever it is that you believe. So you can't fool the universe or God or yourself. You can't fool it. So, I almost lost this. Sorry, guys. So let's see. Brandon, loving the live. Good. I'm glad that you caught it. Are you at work? C Senj. I don't know Senj. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Sometimes I feel my laser focus is the problem that is pushing away my desire. Does it make sense? If you're laser focused, I wouldn't say no. Laser focus is good. But laser focus in the way, like if you planted, let's talk about planting seeds a little bit. If you planted a seed, you remember that all seeds know what they are, right? So a seed for a pumpkin, a seed for an orange, a seed for an apple, a seed for whatever, tomatoes, I don't know. All seeds are already pre-programmed with what they are going to become, right? So the seeds are planted and the farmer or whomever gets the soil ready by making sure the soil is healthy. So in this case, your mind, You want to get your mind ready and make sure that your mind is healthy. How do you do that? Through not trusting and believing in healing fears, worries, and doubts. And then the seeds are planted, right? So just like in the 3D reality, seeds are planted and they need the proper nourishment. They need a certain amount of sunlight. They need a certain amount of water. If you are constantly hovering over, now, if this is how you mean your laser focus could be destroying it, if you're constantly hovering over your seeds that you've planted, which really are just God's seeds that God has planted in you, remember that, right? All of God's seeds plants flourish, right? If you are constantly watching only this one seed and you are just like, you're not living your life and you're not planting other seeds around everything in your life, and all of this pressure, attention is on this seed in this way, yes, you're probably preventing the seed, because what you're doing, if you're constantly watching it, you're just constantly saying, it's not growing. I must have planted it wrong. Maybe the soil is dirty. Maybe this and that. And if you're standing over it and hovering over it this whole time, you're blocking the sunlight. You're not watering it because you're forgetting to water it, because all you're doing is staring at it, and you're putting so much pressure on this poor little beautiful seed that already knows what it wants to be. Let the seed grow its roots. Let the seed get out of its way. Let the seed get the sunlight it needs. Let the seed be exactly what the seed is pre-programmed and meant to be. Again, because that's what God wants. It's God's seeds, right? So all the seeds that were planted in you already know what they are to become. But if you're constantly having fears, worries, and doubts, then the soil isn't clean. The soil needs to be cleaned. The soil needs to be, I don't know what some of the gardening, is it tilled? I don't even know. I don't know. I know soil has to be aerated and tilled. But anyway, if the soil isn't properly taken care of, then the seeds may not take well, and the seed may not flourish the way it could flourish. So keep your soil clean, keep the garden in your mind clean, keep it clean by, when you have the fears, worries, and doubts trying to, let me see if I can fix this. When you have the fears, worries, and doubts seeping their way in, pull them out of the, the weeds, pull them out of the soil. You don't want those in your soil. Protect your soil, protect your beautiful garden, and protect your beautiful seeds, and nourish them with pure love and like sunlight and water, like with your affirmations and stuff. Let the seed become what they're meant to become, because God's planting those seeds inside of you, because God wants those things to grow. I'm trying to keep on this seed analogy, to grow through you, right? Or God wouldn't have planted those seeds inside of you. So you can literally stop worrying about, like, don't look to see, oh, it's not growing, because when you're saying, oh, it's not growing, then it's not growing because you said that, because you believe that. Anyway, I hope that helps. So the laser focus is good when you have laser focus that you're not like, if I keep coming up with these metaphors today, if you're laser focused, if you're looking down a hallway and you have a bunch of rooms that represent different states, different versions out of the infinite versions of things that you could be experiencing, and the one state that you want is right straight ahead, it's the version of you with the money that you want, with the life that you want, with the love that you want, with the specific person that you want, with the relationship that you want, with everything that you want. And I'm sorry, I'm looking away at the time. Sorry about that. When you look straight ahead at the room that you want, and you have that kind of laser focus, and you trust in it, and you love it, and you can feel it pulling you, right? And you know that at any given time, as you walk down this hallway, which is like your middle, at any given point, you can open one of these other doors that have different versions. One of these doors has the version of you that's lonely. One of these versions has the version of you that's with your person, but your person isn't treating you right. One of these versions has you with another person altogether. One of these rooms has you broke, but you have the relationship that you want with your person. One of these rooms has you with all of the money that you want, with the relationship you want with your person, with good health. When, we can go on and on, because there are infinite versions, and I'm starting to get dizzy because I need water and I need to take a breath. So if you have the kind of laser focus that you are only staying focused on that room that's straight ahead down this hallway, and you have what's the word I'm looking for? Tunnel vision. You're not going to be tempted to open any of these other doors in the hallway that have the different versions that you don't want, right? When you have that kind of laser focus, that's good. But if you have the kind of laser focus more like that seed analogy, that's bad. I hope that answered it. I don't know what's wrong with me today. It's not wrong, but I have all these metaphors today. All right. I need a second here. And now I'm down to only a few minutes because I have to eat lunch and I have to get on with a session with one of my amazing clients who I love. If you're watching the live, I'll see you soon. Okay, Diana, thank you for addressing some of the things. It's not easy for me right now. I just don't know what to do from now on. I have always said the same thing. And at some point, there's nothing more that you can say, because if you really listen to everything that I'm saying, then you would realize and try to take all of the emotional turmoil that's in it out of it and just realize that you have not trusted. We've gone back and forth with a lot of things, and I know that you've done very well with your inner work, and I think that's a great job, and you've done great with that. But I'm saying this with love to you, okay? I can't force anybody to do the inner work. And the biggest part of the inner work, again, think of it like it's 50%. The biggest part of the inner work is trusting. And when you're constantly falling for the 3D and conforming to the 3D and trying to control and manipulate in the 3D and pushing in the 3D by behaving in the 3D in a very 3D reality-based way, then you're not trusting. I can't do anything more. I can't say anything more except that. Like, I can't force my clients to do the inner work. I can only guide you. I can only keep saying, hey, no, that's not true. Hey, look at it this way. Hey, what is the ideal that you want? I can't force people to believe and trust that manifesting is real. I can't force people to study law of assumption. I can't force people to trust in God. I wish I could. I wish I could just plug myself into you and say, here, let me download this, boom, and give you that instant pureness. I wish I could, but I don't think it's possible. I wish there was some technology that made that possible, because I would be able to help everybody. But anyway, so Diana, I'm saying this with love. I'm sorry, I can't make you believe. And there's nothing, I don't know what else I can say. I just don't know what else I can say. You have to, I think at some point it's healthier to stop trying to manifest, take a break from it, step back and clear up your, just like, I think with cases like this, it's really imperative for your health to stop and just love yourself 100%. No, like 80% love for yourself, 20% specific person. I think when it gets to this point, you step back and you go all in 100%, and you hit it left and right, morning, noon, and night, all about you, all about loving yourself, adoring yourself. Even if you can't, and it's very sad, the idea to me, and I won't cry, but the idea to me of anyone thinking that God isn't loving them, that hurts my heart, because God is literally inside of you right now. God is literally, you are within God and God is inside of you, but you hardened up your shell. And when you harden up your shell, you can't see God. And it's like you're blocking God's love and light from you. But you're never separate and you're never alone. That is a fact, okay? But it saddens me to think that you might be in that space, but there's nothing I can do about it except to guide you to love, guide you to back into your own heart, to love yourself, because you are beautiful, Diana. I don't want to cry. Oh my God. I affirmed that I wouldn't cry. Diana, you're a beautiful person. You're a beautiful woman. You're a beautiful light, and you deserve everything that you feel that you deserve. And you have to see that and you have to trust that. Okay. But I can't do anything more. I've tried to explain everything that I can within my power. So, I am doing the best that I can, but I can only say that you are beautiful and you're love and you're light, and you deserve everything because you're more than worthy. And you have to see that, okay? You have to love yourself. Anyway. Senj, thank you, dear. You're welcome. Okay. Regin Jenna. That's a great metaphor. That literally happened in my garden the other day. I saw a seed has sprouted that I planted months ago, and I gave up and planted new ones. And bam, yes, awesome. Conditions were right. That's right. Let God handle all the conditions. Let God handle all the circumstances, because God is. You have to really realize that when things have happened with our specific person, because those tap into the deepest parts of ourselves. And again, yeah, I come at this from a deeper, more spiritual place than most law of assumption coaches. To me, this is pure law of assumption. I know that anything that I'll ever experience with my person is all a perfect reflection. I can't do this. She is a perfect reflection of me, and I'm privileged for that love. I'm privileged for this experience because it's bringing me back to me. It's bringing me back to the parts of me that need nurturing and loving and healing. And when I nurture, love, heal, and trust that within myself, and I trust God, then everything outside of me will reflect that healing and that love. And it all has to come from a pure, unconditional place. Pure, unconditional place literally means just that. There are no conditions on it. There are no conditions at all. Okay, so anyway, Ray of Light. I love how passionately and genuinely you talk. Thank you, Ray Light. Hocus pocus, focus. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life. One of my favorites, Einstein. Yes, imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. Amen. One of my favorite quotes from Einstein. So true. So true. Lisa S. I like that. Good. Thank you. Samaria. I love it. Good. Thank you. With a heart back to you. Let's see. Cole X Petrus wrote, watched your video with Bella. So cute. Thank you. She's my little angel. She's like one of my absolute favorite manifestations so far. Oh, I have a quick favorite manifestation I have to talk about, then I'm going to have to run. My mom has been, I know my mom is watching. I love you, Mom. So my mom, she's 78. Long story short, for a long time, because I've been manifesting for a long time in my life, and sometimes I used to put up boundaries, and I should have been more clear with her at the time. So this goes back years back, from her perspective, which was understandable. And this was, again, was my reflection. She was getting frustrated with me because I was trying to put up these boundaries because I didn't want to talk about the things that I was manifesting, but, it would cause a little bit of friction between us. And I'm sorry about that. But now that we've, and I'm so grateful for our relationship, she's now watching all of my videos, and over the past few months, and this is something that I've affirmed for, which is awesome because she's reflecting it all back to me. She's healthy, happy, strong. She keeps getting healthier, happier, and stronger. And she is totally into manifesting now. And we talk about God. We talk about manifesting. She's been inspired. Like, she gets a pension from my dad, so she doesn't need to be doing this for money, but she was inspired. She's had this feeling like, I'm going to win big money. I just know it. I can just feel it. And she talks like anyone that when you watch like a YouTube channel, like a Timothy Schultz, who always interviews people who have actually manifested millions of dollars. My mom, she has all of these. She knows she's going to win millions and millions of dollars. She just knows it. So, and this, what I'm about to tell you, isn't her way necessarily. It could be of winning millions of dollars, but she just has a very good way of thinking about money. She knows that money just always comes and goes, and she always gets more and more and more. And she trusts that, and she knows that. But she also is smart. She doesn't just blow her money. She's very conservative and responsible with how she spends her money, which is the reason why money keeps coming in. So anyway, a few months ago, she started getting inspired and she's never done this before. She started getting inspired to go. I may have told the story on another video. I apologize if I have, but anyway, listen to it again. It's a fun story. She's been inspired to go to casinos, and right off the bat, she's never gone to a casino before. She never played. I think they're called slot machines. She never played them before in her life. She had no idea what she was doing. Somehow, some way, she knew right off the bat. She had this automatic method that, like, she just naturally knew how to work the machines. So she starts off spending money conservatively and very carefully, right? Again, 78 years old, and she works them in such a way that she just keeps building up the money. But then I'm just going to give an example, and don't take this as how to, okay? This is just an example. And I know I may or may not have this right, but as just to explain this, like, say she puts in $20. She puts $20 in. She keeps playing it until it builds up to, say, $50 or $100. She takes the money out then, instead of losing it all like most people do. And then she puts her 20 back, and all the rest of the money, she's just playing with their money. And then she keeps doing that conservatively. What's happening, though, is that she's like literally winning jackpots of, like, if she goes to a casino, she loves it. So she may or may not be able to go every day, but when she does go, she's either making hundreds or thousands of dollars. So, like, imagine how, like, I've been affirming for all this stuff with my mom, and now this is what I'm like, this is how things have shifted in my reality to experience and watch my mom, 78 years old, learning how to manifest. Somebody who, she used to not understand it, but watching all my videos, learning how to manifest, trusting in God, getting inspiration, having fun, feeling more healthy and happy and energetic than any other time in her life. She literally said to me, "Kim, honey, this makes me feel like a kid again." Right. And then having my mom call me or text me. Now she's even texting me with emojis, which she didn't know how to even use her text before. And now she's like telling me, "Honey, mommy did good. I just got $3,900 today, $1,500 today, $1,000 today, $2,000 today." Like I'm getting these kinds of text messages and calls. So anybody who wants to say that specific person related stuff, which is the nature and the essence of law of assumption and everyone as you pushed out, anyone to say that specific person content is overkill, you don't know what law of assumption is, because this is the kind of stuff, this is what manifesting is. People reflect back to you how you see them. So I saw my mom, as being healthy, happy, energetic, getting plenty of money, this and that, blah, 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 understanding, manifesting, enjoying this. And now look at what's happened. So if this can't be, this is going to be one of my success stories right now. It's just how life works. It's how God works. You always have a choice in how you're going to see somebody. So always see people in their happiest, highest, best, being pure love, period. Pure unconditional love. All right, guys, I'm down to the wire here. This is addictive, though. I do love coming on live with you guys. Diana, I'm sorry I made you cry. You didn't. Thank you for saying those things. You didn't make me cry. It's just that I'm going to cry again if I explain, but I tend to have a love for people. So I can be very sensitive. And when I see people in pain, it bothers me, because I wish I could, take it all away, but I can't. So I'm doing the best I can. Anyway, I really appreciate your support and seeing me the way you do. Right. I know. I see you as being so powerful. I just need you to see yourself and being that way. Anyway, Juliana, yeah, you texted really fast. Listening to you, we are back in communication. I feel so much for love for him, and thank you. Okay, that's awesome. So Juliana just wrote, her and her SP, after listening to my videos, her and her SP are back in communication, and she feels so much for love for him. So guys, this is all real. Okay. Dharmesh, please make a video on bridge of events again, just back for the basics. Okay, I will. Ray Light, that's amazing, Mama Kim. That is funny. I love that you said that. That is so cute. My person once said, oh my God, I'm so emotional. And guys, just so you know, like I'm emotional because I just feel so much love, and it's okay. It's not a big deal. I'm not sad. I feel a lot of love. But my person said that to me once. She thanked, it was the sweetest, one of the many sweetest things she's ever said to me, that she sees that I'm a mother of all, and that she thanked me for that. And that was just like the sweetest thing that she ever said, or one of the many. She always says sweet things. Okay. Regina Jenna. So I wonder what I look like right now. Like, do I have like tears going down my face? Regina Jenna. So if there's so much triggering and pain to work through with an SP, why not start anew with a new person? You can. That's a choice. You can totally do that at any given time. And if you do, sometimes I have people who say, I'm at a point where I think that I'm done. Like, I feel like I just want to live my life and want to recreate someone new. Please do that. It's okay, and feel no shame about it at all. Sometimes with let's take it on a job situation, for example. Say you've tried to manifest a particular job, and for whatever reason, the boss triggers the what out of you, and you can't get past it because the trigger is just a very deep one. It's a deep wound, and it's too late. You try as much as you can. You can't see your boss treating you right. And you're like, this is toxic. I'm just going to get a new job. I'm just going to manifest a new job. No shame should be in that. You should never feel like a failure. You should never feel like you're giving up. In some cases, I do think it's probably healthy to stop. I did this with a former person. But it was a little different. But I did this because I just realized, okay, the deep triggers are just too much, and I just can't see her and I being able to get through this. And there was a hard boundary thing that happened, and so I just like made a conscious decision, like, yeah, I'm the God in my reality. I'm powerful. I want to recreate from scratch for someone else. And it's totally healthy, and it's totally fine. Don't feel bad if that's what you want to do. Just go ahead and do it and let go. But the biggest thing, that you don't want to repeat patterns with the next person. So be very clear that the wounds, like, is it that you can't get past your own wounds of rejection and abandonment? Or is it that you recreated them to be such, if it's so much that you just can't see their character being differently, if you can't see them in a different light, but you feel really good about yourself and you feel like, yeah, I know that I'm worthy. I know that I can be insecure in a relationship and it doesn't matter. I totally trust that love is healthy. Love is safe. Relationships are good. Relationships are safe. And I'm totally safe being vulnerable. Like, if you're there and you just can't get past certain limitations with this person, then let go of the person, and with all love and light, and just, powerfully manifest a better relationship. But I'm not one of those people who believes in this or better. Just hear me what I'm saying. If it's to a point where you really just can't get past a particular way that you're seeing this person, but you have healed, it's okay. If you decide that you want to invest in manifesting someone else, go ahead. Don't feel bad about it. Juliana, she said, oh my God, I love that. It must have been when I was talking about my mom. Ray Light, your vulnerability makes you more beautiful. Oh, thank you. Yes, emotional love crying makes you beautiful. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you. I love you, Ray Light. You know that. Juliana, so real. I dropped the old story finally. Good. Ray Light, I feel like you will know from the inner you that will tell you to stay or to be with someone new, whatever makes you feel good. Yep. All right, guys. I love you. I'm going to sign off and eat so I don't pass out on my client because that would be embarrassing, although it would make for a funny video. So I will give you 2 seconds. Come back on with one last question and I'll take it. And other than that, I'm letting go. All right, I'm just signing off. I'm not really letting go. Sarah Roberts, I wanted to step back from SP energetically and let go, but I instantly heard his voice telling me to not let go. Oh, and got dreams of him begging. Oh, that's so cute. I love it. Has anyone experienced this before? I have. That's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Don't let go. Don't let go. Keep trusting. Ray, yes, Sarah, keep trusting. That's a beautiful experience. I love it. It's very real. Stay in the faith, stay in the trust. Keep just trusting in pure love, trust in the pure version of you, trust in the pure version of your other half. Okay. See that your other half is just like, baby, 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 come on already. I'm like sitting here waiting for you to let me back in. Please just trust me and know that my love is pure. Know that, see the best version of me because I want you so bad. I love you and I miss you so much. Like it's all about you. It's all about you. You want to see your person in that light. Okay. Sarah, you're welcome. Hearts back to you. Okay. I love you guys so much. I am out and I will talk to you guys very soon. Comment down below if you want coaching. Link is in the description or will be. Just email me the backstory, book online, email me the backstory, and then I'll reply back with the first available and we'll get to work on your limiting beliefs. I love you guys so much. Bye. Always these awkward, the awkward last few seconds.